Hello YouTube and welcome back. This is episode 27 in my Let's Play Kerbal Space Program series. If you're new to the channel, I'll direct your attention to the top right. There should be a link up here that will take you to the playlist if you want to go back and watch any of these from episode 0. And as always, any subscriptions are greatly appreciated. Now in this episode, we're going to be attempting a flyby of an asteroid, and hopefully we can capture an orbit around an asteroid. So we're going to give that a try in this episode, but before we do that I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about the direction of our space program going forward, how I want to try to approach our objectives. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet here. We're about halfway through with all of our objectives. We're going to try to knock this one off today, sending a probe to an asteroid. And I may or may not go ahead next episode, depending on how this goes. I might try to knock off this planting a flag on an asteroid. But I'm going to make a couple of changes because we have, let's see. This one here says send a probe on a flyby of each discovered asteroid. I'm going to modify this because I think going to every single asteroid is probably going to be a bit too much to try to do, because I don't know how many there's going to end up being. There may end up being hundreds. I don't know. This is my first playthrough really of this game, so I don't know how many asteroids we'll end up with, and it may end up just being redundant and pointless to send a probe to every single one. But I'm going to add some things to this. Specifically, I'm going to add, for each planet, I want to have a relay network around each planet of every system. So what I was thinking about doing, we still have to probe the other planets. We've done Eve and Duna, but we still need to send probe to Moho and Drool, Elo. Let's see, am I missing one? I think that's all of them. We have to send a probe to each one of these still. So I'm going to go ahead and do that after we do our asteroid, whatever we end up doing with the asteroids. Then I'm going to go ahead and probe each system. And I will probably just do like one compilation video showing, to try to just bundle all these into one episode. And I'll show the build, and then I'll show sort of the scene where we're capturing the orbit around the planet, and just put all those in one video as an episode. But what I'll do in that episode, I'll leave a link in the description for the full video on each one of these, if somebody's interested in watching how I did it specifically. If that's the kind of thing you like to watch, I'll make it available. It won't be an actual episode in the series though, so you'll have to follow the link in the description to get to the different videos. Once I've done that, I want to focus on one system at a time. So we most likely would start with Moho, and I'm going to do it in phases. So the first phase will be sending out the relay network, and we're going to do it Minmus style, the way we did the relay network around Minmus. We'll get the relay network up first. Second stage would be to send the science station and get in orbit around Minmus or Moho. And then the third stage would be sending a landing team to the system. So for Moho, all we have is just the planet. There's no moons. So we'd send a landing team to Moho. They would land on the planet, plant the flag, do all the science, deploy all the deployable science that we can put on the system, on the planet, and leave. And then we'll bring the landing team back to Kerbal and leave the science team in the science station to continue to do their science around planet. And then once we've done that, MOHO will effectively be complete, and then we'll go to the next system and do the same thing. And then I'll do that all the way through all of the planets, each planet. So, when we get to Eve, we have a moon we also have to deal with. So the landing team would, they would land on Eve, come back to the station, and then do another mission to land on the moon. Now, in order to be able to do that, they're going to have to refuel somehow. And the easiest way I know is going to be to send resupply ships to the system from Kerbal. So we'll get out there and see what we need, and then we can send a resupply ship with more fuel or whatever we need, dock it up, refuel the landing ship, and then go to the moon. And then when we get to other systems like Joule, for example, I think there's 5 moons around Joule. So we'll have to send a lot of resupply ships to Joule to get all the moons, to address all the moon landings we're going to have to do there. But I think that's the way I want to approach it, is just let's go to a system, finish the system completely, and then move on to the next system. Once that's done, then I can look at revisiting systems if I decide to keep going with this save. Because there's a lot of other things we can still do. But for the purpose of this playthrough, we're trying to knock off these 50 points. So I want to get through them kind of systematically and get it done. And then, like I said, after we've completed that, if I want to continue the series, I can add to this. There's a lot more things that we can do in this game that we haven't even touched yet. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. That's my plan going forward. So today, let's get on this asteroid and see what we're going to need to do to orbit this thing. Now, if we go to our tracking station, there's a lot of objects. These are out past Duna. So we've got a couple close here. It's a little bit out past Minmus, so it's, I guess, close is a relative term. But if we pick, let's see, I'm trying to find something close to the plane, so we don't have a lot of inclination change, but I also want something that's not going to be terribly far out there. I also don't know how difficult it's going to be. So like this, for example, I don't know, it's orbiting the star this way, but I don't know what its relative speed to us is. I really don't know how to do this. This is totally new to me, and I'm going to be kind of learning as I go here. So we have this object selected. I think it's an asteroid because it has AST here. I don't know if once I have a vehicle in space, if I'll be able to get target data. Let's see if we look at this derelict ship here. Let's fly a ship and see if when we're on a ship Now this is just a leftover pod from a rescue mission I did. But I just wanted to see if, when flying a ship, can we select as a target? Yes, we can. So now this is my target. Still doesn't really give me any. Can I add maneuver node? Control locked. So you can't control this vessel. It's unmanned, and there's Okay, well, I guess what we're gonna do then, let's get us a probe built and into orbit and see what we need. So the probe needs to have a bit of science on it. So let's start with a probe body, our standard setup here. And I'll put this communitron on here. I'll have to probably put some bigger antennas on the exterior, because we are going to be getting a pretty good distance out there. I want to make sure that we're capable of communicating. Can I put that there? Does that work? I guess that works. Okay, let's close this. And so we're going to need another service bay. Go ahead and put some science in here. We'll do that. Okay. Now this will probably not return to Kerbal. I'll leave it in orbit around the asteroid if I can. So this will all be transmitted back. So let's get a decent antenna. I imagine this antenna here will be more than enough. $15G. Tell you what, we'll put 2 of these on. That should be more than enough. So put 2 of those here, and if I open it, that's going to be in the way, because I need to put some solar panels on this as well. I can do it like that. Then I can have my solar panels here on the below that. So let's put on these retractables, like the 1x6. Put 2 of these on down here. So that gives us power generation and communications, and we have our science. So that should be fine. Now once this gets into orbit, we'll need to, I wonder if we can use, oh, that's weird. That's just not going to be enough, I don't think. I was going to try this little spark engine. That is, yeah, that's only 353 meters per second delta V. That's It'd be enough for maneuvers, but I think let's just give it some more. So let's go with something like this and a Terrier. Okay, that's 3,000 in a vacuum. So if we can get into orbit, we're going to be pushing out past Minimus. This may be enough, because you would only need about 1,000 to break the Kerbal sphere of influence. If we had 3,000, then that would be 3 times as much as we would need to break Kerbal sphere of influence. So let's try that. And this is all just a, I've not done any tests on this at all. This is all just a, blind attempt here. So it may fail, but if it does, it's not a big deal. Now we'll have to put a fairing over all this. Okay, and we're looking at a little over 7.5 tons here. And looking at our boosters, this is supposed to be good for 6 tons. Let's see how much delta V we would have. Oh, we should have plenty of delta V with this. Alright, so looking at the staging, we have, drop this here, I have liquid boosters that are asparagus staged to the main tank. They would separate. We have 39, we have quite a bit of delta V here. So this should do the trick. One thing I'm going to do that I've been neglecting to do recently is set up some action groups for our science, just to make our life easier. So we'll conduct a material study, run magnetometer, log pressure, log temperature, play with the mystery goo, and I think that's all we'll be able to do. So that's that. And for custom group 2, I'm going to extend the antennas and the solar panels just to make life easier when we're in space. Alright, so I'm going to put this in orbit. Let's call this Asteroid Interceptor 1. Alright, so I'm going to put this into orbit, and I will see you in space. Okay, so the thrust to weight ratio was wrong and the craft failed to get into orbit. So I'm going to make a couple of adjustments here. I think the main thing is I need to replace this primary engine with a mainsail. So I'm going to do that. Where is my mainsail engine? There it is. That gives me quite a bit. I want to turn these down. Almost don't even need the boosters. Well, we'll keep them on there for the Delta V. I could just leave the tanks on, I guess. Take the engines off. That would look kind of funny. Let's try this. That's 37, almost 3800 Delta V. Our first stage, our thrust to weight ratio at atmosphere is 182, which is a bit high. But then our second stage is also a bit high. I could probably turn my main engine down a bit as well. That's too much. I'd like to get that upper stage to closer to 2. There we go. Let's do that. So we got our first stage is 1.54, and then we're at 2.07. So I'm going to relaunch and try this again. Check my staging. Good. Save that. Okay, so I'm going to try it one more time, and hopefully this time I'll meet you in space. Alright, here we are. 97 by 96. I put us up a little higher than normal because we're going to be going farther out anyway. So first things first, I want to go ahead and deploy that fairing, and let's get our antennas and our satellite, our PV panels up, and then let us look at possible target. So I still have this one here. I have this one. I think in terms of the inclination, I believe this one probably makes the most sense if I set that as a target. And then add a maneuver. So if I want to push out on this side, then I would want to put my maneuver back here. So let's see. I'm just really eyeballing all of this. Thinking maybe if we put a maneuver here. And we just burn prograde. And just see what happens. So we have this intercept. So we have here Separation of 453,000 kilometers. Now if I was to adjust my inclination, if I can get rid of these other lines now that I have this target. Yeah. We're getting closer here. But we don't have enough delta V for that. It's like 38,000 kilometers is about the closest I can get with this delta V. So we're going to have to do this like a rendezvous, but it's on a much larger scale. Okay, so I've got it to here. It's only going to cost me 1,100 to get a 43,000 kilometer intercept. It's not close enough, but I think what I want to do, I'll do this burn here, and then see if we can maybe do an inclination change, and then maybe dial it in, because it's not letting me really get any closer. I've been playing around with it for a few minutes here. It's about as close as it really wants to get at the moment. So I think our issue now is the inclination's not matched. So I'm gonna get to this maneuver here and do this burn, and then see if I can dial it in a little closer than that. So I'm gonna take care of that and cut, and I will be right back. Here we are. I did my burn. We got to intersect down to 43,000 kilometers. And now I want to try another maneuver here to adjust our inclination. It looks like we need to I guess go down. Is down a thing in space? I don't know. That seems to be affecting my intersect. Yeah, that gets us to, I can get it to 9, 8, Looks like hers are about 840. So we can get to 844 kilometers. So let's do that, and then I'll see if there's a way to get it even closer. So I'm gonna time warp a bit, make this adjustment, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, 844 kilometer intersect. Let's see if we can continue to work on this. Let's see if there's any other adjustments we can make that will affect it. So if we start adding a little prograde here, that seems to be closing the distance some. It's going back up. Adjusting the period doesn't seem to affect it any. Burning radially is having an effect on it, quite a good bit of effect there. So I can get it down to 148. Let's see if the inclination adjustment helps me. Oh yeah, we got down to 13 kilometers there. Alright, I'm just going to keep making adjustments and dialing it in, and make adjustments and dial it in, and just see how close I can get. I think if we can get within a couple of kilometers of this thing, I should be able to manually intercept. If I can get that close to it, I can probably burn toward my target or something, and get a pretty close intercept. So I'm going to make this maneuver and be right back. Okay, so I did that, and I was actually able to get it down to 4 kilometers, which is great. I think 4 kilometers would probably be close enough that we could get an orbit around that thing. But I am going to continue to adjust it here. Look at there, we're getting down 2 kilometers there. 1.7. Okay, I'll take 900 meters. I think that's going to be pretty close right there. In fact, it might be too close, but let's get... Our relative speed is going to be pretty fast, so it's actually going to be too close, I believe. So let me get it back out. We're probably going to need to be a few kilometers here in order to get it. Let's try 5 kilometers. Or 3 kilometers. We're still going to be moving pretty fast, so it may blow right past us. I don't know if we're even going to be able to get an orbit on this thing. But if I get it at 3 kilometers, actually I better give me more room than that, because 782 meters a second, that's pretty close, or that's pretty fast, so it's likely to blow right past me. So I don't know if an orbit's going to be possible, since this is an object that we're trying to intercept. So I want to make sure that we can rendezvous with it. We'll just get up, we'll just get up close to it and make our relative speed 0, and we consider that an orbit, I guess. So let's see. I'm on my maneuver. It's not going to take much of a burn to do this, but I'm shooting for a target of, well, I might as well just go for the 4 kilometers. I don't know, let's go for 5. Whoa, that went the wrong way. I have a 1.8 kilometer intersect there. Which doesn't really make sense because okay, it's going back up. I'm gonna get it out to 5, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's do that. And then I'll go ahead and get close. Now this is in 25 days, so I guess I need to go ahead and get my escape. I'm gonna go ahead and warp to my escape and get in our standard orbit here. And then we'll time warp up close to the intercept. And we'll get close and start doing a little retrograde burning to our target and see if we can slow our relative speed down. Alright, so we're out here in space. Here's our intercept. So if I go about here, our target has moved, our intersect has moved up to here. Okay, so we are 1 day, 1 hour, and 36 minutes away from our target. I'm just going to have to slow walk in because I don't want to get too close and then end up not having time to slow down our relative speed. Okay, it is now 5 hours away. This is 3 hours, so let's warp to here. And let's see how close we are now. So my intersect is in 1 hour and 5 minutes. This should get us about 10 minutes out. Yeah, okay, so we're 10 minutes out. Let's see if we can spot the thing. I doubt we're going to be able to spot it. There should be a target bracket in space somewhere for me to see, at least, I would think. I do not see a target bracket. So if we're 9 minutes out, let's see if we can get about 5 minutes out. If I can pick up the target bracket, then that's all I need. Should be heading right at it. We're 3 minutes out. I think if I burn retrograde to the target, what will this speed do? Oh wow, it's taking a lot. It's because I have my thrust turned way down. Wonder how much delta V it's going to take to slow us down. We have 2580 right now. Alright, so now I'm going to I wish I could see the target in space. Looks like we've passed it here. If I burn towards the target, my speed is going back up, but we're getting closer. I really want to get that speed down to much slower. Still got about 2,000 delta V. Get down to about 200 and then I'll burn toward my target again. .1 kilometer intercept or separation. Get it down to about 3 kilometers and then I will retrograde burn again. We're really chewing through some delta V here. And this time I'll get us down to about 100 meters a second. So I'm just slowly, I'm closing in, then slowing down and closing in. So we can get down to about 2 kilometers. Okay. Get that speed down. Actually, I may, let's get the speed down to about 75. Because I feel that would be manageable. So we're 21 minutes out, so I want to get a little bit closer. Let's see if we can spot it in space now. Okay, so it's 5 minutes away and it's only 2 point. Oh, there it went. I saw it. There it is. Alright, so what I want to do, our intersect is going to be 2, so I'm going to time warp until we get about this close, and then I will burn retrograde. Get our speed down, and then I just start pushing myself over there to it. Let's stop about right here. And I'll start killing off this speed. We've got about 1280 delta V left. That should be enough to get us on over there pretty close to it. I think we'll get our intersect down to like 500 meters now. going to slow down our relative speed here. So that does have us 65 meters in about 3 minutes. Alright, let's see how close we can get now. It's going to do about a 5 meter per second. I can't go retrograde to my target now. Guess I can do it manually, because I don't want to hit it. Look at there. We encountered our first asteroid in space with a probe. Don't know if it's going to be possible for a crew member to plant a flag on this. But let's get some science. Let's see what happens when we do science by an asteroid. Well, I can do push number 1 here. Oh, it's giving me high over the sun. Well, that sucks. I thought I'd be able to do science next to an asteroid. I guess not. Well, we'll do this. I'm just doing this a little slow, make sure my battery is good. Which I think is fine. We're touching this asteroid, look at that. What's the world first? Broken in ocean depth. Oh, that's when I crashed. Performed a rendezvous around the sun. And I guess they're calling this our first data around the sun, because the other data I collected was from went to the space station. I didn't transmit it back. Well, I'm a little disappointed because I thought we would be able to get data science from this thing, but it does not appear as though that's the case. So if I was on a command module with a pilot or with a scientist or somebody, and I did an EVA, I don't know if it's going to let me plant a flag on this asteroid or not. So I don't know. We can try it and see. We can bring a Kerbal to an asteroid and see what happens. I have 1100 delta V left. I don't know if that would be enough to get back to Kerbal. Probably not. Well, it might. If I were to add Kerbal. With a periapsis of 68 kilometers, it would cost 225. So maybe we could maybe get a Kerbal back. We would want to bring a lot more delta V just to make sure we could get them back. But I think I'm going to do a little research first. If it's not possible to plant a flag, then I'm probably not going to bother, because it didn't even recognize this asteroid as being a new situation with the science, which is, like I say, that's pretty disappointing. I thought that by intercepting an asteroid in space you would be able to get new science from that, but we obviously did not. But anyway, we did intercept one. That was one of our contract requirements. So I will note the time and update the spreadsheet. Year 7, day 346, hour 2, minute 51. We intercepted an asteroid. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you are wanting to follow the playlist, there should be a link in the top right, and in the top left there's a subscribe button. So I do appreciate all those who have subscribed, and thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.